The question comes from someone whose handle is at InkT, and
Mhm.
it's I need cake flour and all-purpose flour, but all I have is bread flour. Is there something I
Yeah.
can do to make my situation workable? Some kind of technique or substitution?
That is a great question. And I think that exactly now, when so many people are missing the all purpose flour, and when you're able to go to the store, all you find is cake flour or different kinds of flour, you wonder what you can do.
Hmm.
And I think that this is a great opportunity to experiment with what the different kinds of flour do, and also to realize that any flour and all flour works, that one
Hmm.
doesn't have to be extra picky. So, what I've realized is, of course, as many pastry chef and bakers know that the bread flour is the higher in gluten and
Hmm.
it will rise a bit more and it'll give you a little bit more of a chew. All purpose flour is kind of in between, and cake flour is the lightest, the fluffiest, the silkiest. But here's an example. I was making challah last Friday, challah bread,
Hmm.
and all we had left was cake flour. And I got the fluffiest, most cloud-like challah ever, and it was
Hmm.
delightful. And I find that you can substitute one to one all of these flours,
Hmm.
bread flour to all purpose flour to cake flour. And what happens is just that you're going to have a different result, but I find that all the results are just as yummy,
Hmm.
But I think it's a great opportunity to experiment and play and to relax and to take the moment that we're living in with a little bit of like a lighthearted approach.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's really it's funny when cooking advice and just like life advice kind of meld. And it
I know. And the other amazing thing is you realize we look for recipes. Many people are super heavy recipe followers and some people are more spontaneous, but I think that we look for recipes because we're looking for guidance, right? We don't know
Mm,
what to do. I remember when I started cooking and I was completely clueless, Francis. Like if a recipe said salt or pepper to taste, I would be like lost.
mm-hmm.
What do they mean? Like, is it a half a cup? Is it a pinch? How much is a pinch? My hand is tiny. You realize that recipes are always like a guide, that
Yeah.
cooking is communal and recipes get passed on and tweaked. And that recipe that called for cake flour, you know what? You made it with bread flour and it became chewier and more interesting to eat. And
Yeah.
that bread that was supposed to be doughy and thick and crusty is now fluffy as a cloud. Well,
Yeah.
spread some jam.
Yeah.